Okay, this morning I'm going to show you how I want you to process. So I've already imported the images, and this is in the library module. So you go up here to the top here and click develop. And let me just go back for a second. Let me go back to library, and I'm going to show you in the down here at the sort. It shows you can change the order that they're sorted in, and this says added order. I like to actually sort them by file name because then they'll kind of stay as you edit them, they will stay in the order that you then the edited image will stay kind of in line with the one that you've done. Alright, now I'm going to go back. You see nothing changes here because I haven't changed the order, but anyway, go back to develop, and here's the first image. I had to stand across the street, so I've got some grasses here from the yard across the street that are showing, but so what I would want you to do with this image is a couple of things. The first thing, try tapping the auto button, and that's just going to automatically add some contrast and color and saturation and so forth to it, which looks good. Sometimes that doesn't work, but in this case it looks good. Then click up here to the crop overlay, and this button here, hold on, is going, you see where it says original and there's a little lock button there. This one is unlocked, so I'm going to click it to lock it, so that will keep the same ratio that is on now. What I want to do is crop it down so that I want to minimize the amount of this the neighboring building that's here, and of course the street. So I'm just going to crop it down like this, get as much of that as I can out, and then I can drag it to recenter it if I want, like this, and keep maybe a little bit of this tree here. And there's a little, you can see right up here, there's a little dash at the top that shows you the center of your picture image, and that looks good to me. Then I just click done, and I'm good with that picture. Then I'll just go down to my next image, and because it looks pretty much like the first image, I'm just going to skip it. I don't need it. In fact, I'm just going to remove it. Right there, right clicked it, and I'm clicking on remove, remove. Okay, now this one, if you go back, you can see this one was done at street level. This one is an elevated shot. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to click auto, gives it some saturation, some contrast, and in this case it's a little, you see it's a little crooked. So I'm going to go over here. Well, actually over here I have an auto preset, so you don't have that auto preset, but all you have to do is scroll down here, click, go down to lens correction. If it's not open, just click right here to open it, like that. Click on basic, click enable profile corrections. You can click chromatic, remove chromatic aberration. It's not that big deal, but be sure to click constrain crop. Then go down here and click auto, and it'll straighten it right up for you, including any vertical corrections and so forth. And then go back up here to the crop overlay. Make sure you've got your ratio lock on. Do the same thing. You're going to cut out the street and the neighboring structures. drag it up. In this case, I'm going to take out the entire street. And you can't take out the entire house over here because it is behind the house, but that looks pretty good. I'm going to go with that. And there's my second front exterior. So that's 2. And I don't think this one improves at all. So this one I'm going to delete. Just right click, remove photo, remove. Okay, and so you would do the same thing with this one and this one. Just basically straighten it, add the auto tone. That would be the auto tone. All right, now I'm just going to skip over to some of the other adjustments. Let me find a good one here for you. There was one in here I wanted to show you. This is a pretty good one to show you here, I think. This one, yeah, this is a pretty good one. Okay. This one, I have a shadow here that I don't like, and a little bit of a shadow here. Plus, I'm not real happy with the composition, but I mean, I took it this way knowing that I was going to crop it. So here's what we're going to do. We have highlighted this one, then I'm going to, that's not what I want. Then I control click the second one. So I've highlighted both of them. Then I right click and choose Edit in Layers in Photoshop. Then they will, when they open in Photoshop, they will automatically open as layers. Just let them finish. You don't have to create the layers yourself. In this case, I actually want the layer with the shadow to be on top, which it is, but if for some reason I wanted to change the order, you could just drag it down like this and put it there, but I'm putting it back up. Okay, so if you want to view each layer, see the little eye right here, indicates layer visibility. You turn that off and see the lower layer to see, kind of view the changes that you want to make. You can see that I need to get rid of some shadowing in here and here. Now, the way I like to do it, there's 2 ways you can experiment with layers here. One, you can change the opacity by you can either, there's 2 ways to do it. You can click on the down arrow and drag like this, which does a good job. You can just click on the word opacity and drag that way. But there's another way to do it. If you want to just choose certain areas of the image to I have to move that down to mask or to change, to adjust. So let's see, how do I move this here? There we go. Down here you'll see a button that you can click on, Add Layer Mask. And I click there and it's going to add this layer mask, and I click on it to make sure that it's highlighted with a little white outline. So I know that I'm working on the top layer mask. So I come over here and I pick up my brush tool, make sure I'm working in black, and my opacity I set about, I'm going to set it around 35%, and then I just paint over the area that I want to reduce like that. And I think it's a little bright in here too. That's where my flash was a little too strong. And that's all I need to do with this. Then I just flatten it and close it. Oops. Save changes, yes. And then I go back to Lightroom, and it has changed. It has saved a copy here called edit.psd. Now here, I go back and you see it's got this curve here. Don't like my curve there. But I'm going to go ahead and use my lens control. Try to change that, straighten it up. In this case, I'm going to also click on manual and put in, see if a little distortion will pull out a little bit of that curve, like that, about 10 points. Alright, now I'm going to go back up to my crop overlay, and in this case, I'm actually going to unlock the ratio because I don't actually want these side panels on this picture. I just want the center of this picture. So I just grab the sides and bring them in like this. And there I have my foyer. Whoops. Drag it over there like this. And let's see how that looks. Voila! Now, let's see if I didn't do my auto tone. Let's see how that looks. That looks pretty good. Another thing you can do to bring out some of that center is just drag the highlight down a little bit. And there is my foyer. And what I like to do is go back to the parts of the picture that I used to create it and remove them. Where did it go? Remove photo. Remove this from my stream so that when I go to save my finals, they're not included because I don't want extraneous photos. And that's how you process. Here, this would be, here would be another one that you might do the same thing with. Just cut out these sides. And okay, here's a good one to look at. Show you how to process layers. It's the same thing, but in this case, what I have here is a mirror that was behind this cabinet. So I'm going to, whoops, wrong one. I'm going to highlight both of these, edit in layers in Photoshop. Now in this case, it's a little trickier, but no, it's the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and you look, see, this room looks good except for the mirror, and maybe the kitchen, it might be a little dark, maybe not. So I'm going to go ahead and add my layer mask like this. Now, if you look at this, I'm going to go ahead and paint in here, try to take out some of that brightness. You don't have to take it out all the way. And I might just lighten up a little bit over here. And then we'll take a peek back over here, see if there's anything else. It might look good to put a little of the ambient light across the furniture. Just makes it look a little more natural. And that looks pretty good. Now, look at that ceiling. Might lighten up the ceiling just to give it a little natural look. Okay, so that looks good. That looks the way we like it. And I'm going to flatten it. Now, here's the thing on this mirror. I'm going to zoom in, take a peek at it. Well, if you see, there I am, and there's my tripod. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click my clone tool right here, pick up this baseboard, make sure I'm on about 50%, and just try to recreate it over here where my legs are. Let's see, pick it up right here, just cover up my legs. I just click, 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 and try to get rid of my legs, like that. And then I'm also going to pick it up right here, get rid of that tripod there, click it here, and then I don't know why that's not picking up there. We're going to move it back up to 100% here, and try to pick this out. Why am I don't know why it's not picking up that. I'll just pick it up from here. Just get rid of that. Okay, so that takes care of that part. For my head, I think I'll just paint. So I'm going to pick up the eyedropper, choose this paint color. Now my paintbrush, which has to be a whole lot smaller, keep it at a low color, and just paint over like this. Real gently, just fade it out like that. Just don't want it to show, that's all. And then, I'm not going to worry about this area in here, it's not really that important. Then I'm going to go back to my clone, still on 100%, choose that area right there and just knock that off right there. Right there. And then I'm going to take my spot healing brush, make it really tiny, and shake that out. And that's close enough, because this is, if you go back to your zoom tool, go back to fit screen, you can see that is very small, it's not going to show up. And that's close enough. So we're done here. Go ahead and close that out, save it, go back to Lightroom, and there's your picture. That's just fine, except if I put a little auto tone on it. Now in this case, auto tone might be a little strong on the contrast. I might kick that back a little bit. Maybe take the highlight out a little, down a little. But there you go. That's how you get rid of things when you're processing. You just go through, you look for the things that need to be dealt with. Generally, it's going to be reflections in mirrors. For instance, let's see what else we got. Like right there, you're gonna have to go to your ambient shot and replace this, and maybe some reflection in the TV. Sometimes the flash shot doesn't need anything. For instance, this that little shadow right there really doesn't bother me at all. And the ambient shot doesn't look good, so I would just leave it, not even use the ambient shot. This flash shot is just too bright. Ambient shot looks pretty good. That's too bright. That's too dull, so you might just blend them together to get a better shot. And so you just go through, With this one, what you would do here is I had a little bit of my umbrella showing. So what you would do is blend them together so that the you want to get rid of this and this using the ambient. This one you probably don't need the ambient shot. And you get the idea. And so that when you're done, the only thing you have left, see, here's one that has I made a big mistake here with this. I was stuck up in a corner. I could barely see what I was doing. But you blend this out so that you get rid of the shadow without compromising the windows. You might even put a little bit of this ambient bed shot. Always looks nice. See, I've got a shadow here and here that you want to get rid of. And go through that and see what you can do with it. So I'm going to put it on your Dropbox and see how you do. Let me know if you got any questions.